lost it there. God has used me to be a leader, whether it's on basketball, soccer, or track. Like, He's always used me to, like, vocalize my voice on the court, talk about, like, what's been going on in our life, and then we'd usually just pray right before our game.
God has used me to be able to be more of an open person, not with just my friends and my family, but also with people who I don't know or I've just met. He's helped me become more confident with my story and how I can use it to help other people be more open with theirs. A couple years ago, I had a friend that I had just met, and she told me about a rough time that she was going through. And I remember that I couldn't really say much about it and I couldn't really relate to it, but all I told her was that I could point her to God and show her who He was, and she could help her in ways that I couldn't.
God used me in my life as a good friend. I was on a volleyball team with a few girls who didn't really like our coach, and they would be mean to other players, and they would just be rude and tease this one girl. And I quickly became friends with her because they were mean to her and she didn't really have anyone else to be friends with on the team.
God has used me and given me a caring heart for the kids in the nursery that I love to be with. I've experienced some things in the past, like some hard times that I've needed God, but I was not close enough to Him and knew Him enough to get through them. I would always go straight to bad habits, but God has gave me a passion, and I've gotten so much closer to Him these past 2 years. I love being with the kids and helping them get closer to God, because I know how it would be without Him, and we all need Him. And just have the chance to be closer with Him when they are younger, so they learn more about Him and grow with Him.
God has gifted me to grow His ministry with the ability to understand math fairly easily. Like, during class, I'm usually the one that's like helping out other kids in my grade when they don't understand something, or when they need help just to be set in the right direction. This is like helpful to grow in God's ministry because He's giving me the chance to like talk to them and eventually grow into a relationship that could, if the time comes, have a time to talk about God and like how He's helped me and how He could eventually help them. Maybe God could help them the way He's helped me.
God has gifted me to grow His ministry by giving me a heart to serve. I enjoy doing service projects, and some of my favorites are up at camp when we do service projects and help clean up around the camp, and I also enjoy going to the Rice Depot and helping package food for homeless people.
Growing God's ministry means that you're talking to people about Him openly and just sharing, simple things about what He has done for yourself. He's gifted me to be more confident in myself and my story, because I used to think that it was really bad to talk about my story and talk about my religion. But once I started to realize that I can use my story and I can use my confidence, and they can start the journey of maybe starting to believe in Him.
Well, God has given me courage, and it makes me feel like I actually have purpose, and I'm not perfect, but good just the way I am. And this one time at church camp, we had to do archery. I finally got the urge to get up and try. So the first try, I got a bullseye. And I knew that God was trying to help me and teach me not to fear. And these past 2 years, I actually have prayed every night. He and I have had talks about how to get through times and to not be afraid of things like archery, but to be brave and always believe that things could get better.
God is someone I can trust and rely on. He's someone that I can always look forward to. He's someone that I can just spend my time with whenever I want and pray with him, talk to him. And anytime that I need him, he'd always be there for me. An example of God being in my life is for 10 years I asked for a dog and my family always said no. But this last October, he gifted me with a dog, and immediately I knew that he had worked a prayer.
To me, God is someone you can always turn to and talk to. He's always going to be there for you, and he's not going to judge you no matter what. I've experienced God before because whenever I go to camp, I feel the closest to him because I'm surrounded by some of the most loving and caring people. And I feel the Holy Spirit moving through me and making me want to be closer to God. I rely on God during detours in my life because I know I can turn to him and pray to him, and he'll just talk to me and answer my questions. A few years ago, my great-grandfather passed away, and I was confused, and I kept asking, why? Why does God have to take away the people, the things that we love most? I was confused, upset, and angry with God. But I just prayed to him. And I had the feeling that I knew he was going to be in a better place.
Usually I don't want to do something, so I'll just put it off or wait. So that usually ends up with my mom yelling at me 4 to 5 times to do something like unload the dishwasher, which is an easy task, but I just don't want to waste time and I'm annoyed by it and I really don't want to do it. I rely on him just to redirect my focus, for him to tell me just do it and get it over with, to just stop whatever I'm doing right now and just help out my mom, because I know that she does way more than I do.
3 years ago, my mom had breast cancer. This situation was terrible, and I just never thought it would happen. But he's turned it into a greater thing. What he does is for the best, and that he's just trying to show us a new path.
I think the biggest thing is just communicating with him and not running away from him, always making sure that you're praying to him. You can either run away from God or you can run right towards him. For example, a couple years ago, my great aunt got sick she's hospitalized for 4 months. I was honestly pissed at him. I felt like he was everything leading up to that point. He had been so great with me, and then I felt like he was just angry at me or something. I was just so mad, and I was pushing him away more and more every day. She said that no matter what happens to her, he's always going to be there for me, and that I just need to stop being so afraid of what's going to happen. I just need to start trusting him that he's making the best decisions. And as soon as that happened, I just felt this overwhelming sensation of peace. And I wasn't mad anymore. I wasn't struggling to stay with God instead of running away from him. I was just with him. And when she died a couple weeks later, we were at her funeral, and I was bawling, and I thought to myself, I need to do what she told me. I was so ready to just run away and stop, but she helped me realize that I just need to keep communicating with him because he's never gonna leave me at my worst times. And so that just kind of always helped me And it still helps me, not only with just what happened with her, but with every situation I'm in, good or bad. It helps me so much.
When things go wrong in my future, I personally will always devote a little bit of my time and like my week or my day to just talk with him, pray with him, and always have like a one-on-one. And like always know that he's never gonna leave me. He's always gonna be by my side no matter what happens.
To me, sticking with God through all of the hard times and detours in your life means that you don't ever give up on Him. You just have to trust Him and have complete faith in Him that He'll get you through no matter what happens, no matter what life throws at you or what obstacles you have to face.
I'm gonna stick with God through the future detours by praying and just being able to talk to God the way that I do now. If you can talk to Him now like I can, you can get through anything. That nothing can stop you.
And even when it gets down to the worst times, He's always going to be there for me. And I know that that is one of the reasons why I believe in Him so much and I love Him so much.
I know that his plan is always moving and that he's always gonna lead me to a successful future.